Hello everybody, good morning or evening, whatever time you're actually watching this. Welcome back. First thing on the list is we have some housekeeping stuff that we actually need to get off the table. So first of all, as you see to this video, we have a new intro and outro on all of our stuff. We have one specifically for the entertainment and one specifically for the gaming, right? So check them out. I think they're pretty cool. Second thing on the list is thank you for joining. I hope that you guys are enjoying the kind of content that we're producing here on this channel. It's meant to be informative as well as educational as well as fun, right? Because why does everything have to be super boring? Make sure you subscribe if you like this kind of content. Right here, it'll be a little subscribe button. Make sure you check that out. Now, today's topic that we're talking about is, I think, one that's really close to me, and we're gonna go on this as in depth as we can. And if it takes 10 episodes, it takes 10 episodes, right? But we're titling this self-development and then ellipses, specifically how to change. I know at least, this used to be me, and is a lot of people right now, but there's things in people's lives that they want to change. They want to get that new job. They want to get, that promotion. They want to get a bigger house, the nicer car. They want to get these things. And if you look at the previous video that we did on the ancient biblical basics, we talked about many different ways in order to set a good, solid foundation for those things. But what's our next step? Now that we have a good, solid foundation, what do we do now? And that's a great question, and that's what we're going to answer today. And first things that I want to start off with is a fun fact. Did you know your life, right? Your life income is a direct representation of your level of personal development, right? Your life income, meaning how much you make per hour, per year, per month, however you want to measure it, is a direct reflection on your level of personal development. And here's why. Imagine I work at McDonald's. I get paid, we'll say minimum wage. Nobody really gets paid minimum wage anymore, $7.25, okay? I'm getting paid that job because, one, they say it's worth that job, and I agree with them to get paid that rate. But what level of skill does it take to become a doctor versus McDonald's, right? So my income, aka McDonald's salary or paychecks, right, are a direct reflection of my level of personal development. My personal development isn't as high as a doctor, which is why I don't get paid as much as a doctor, right? And you could say this about anything, whether it be a salesman. Some salesmen get paid more than others, right? They have the same commission scale. For example, I used to be a phone salesman. We had the same commission scale across the board, right? No matter if you were part-time or full-time, right? But who made more money? Besides the obvious of full-time, because I had more time to sell phones, right? If you just commission-based, same amount of hours, no different variables, the person that has the better sales techniques is going to sell more, aka make more. Therefore, the person that makes more money is the one that has a higher level of personal development, okay? So that's the first fun fact that I want to start off. The next point that I want to put on the table or bring out is anytime you go get a new job, or you're at a job and your boss tells you to do something, you have to do this one thing. Don't ask, what am I doing? Ask, what am I becoming, right? Specifically, what and who am I becoming, right? For example, if I work at, we'll just say McDonald's because we'll go with the theme, right? Say I work at McDonald's and they say, hey, I need you to flip these burgers. Well, maybe before asking, why, or any other, question, right? Or maybe even some explicitives, right? Because you don't want to flip the burgers, right? But ask, who am I becoming and what am I becoming, right? Like, if you want me to flip these burgers, what am I becoming? I'm becoming a fry cook. Who am I becoming? I'm becoming just like all these other fry cooks, right? And that means best case scenario, if you're the best one out of all of that groups of fry cooks, you will be a very good fry cook, right? So anytime you even get a new job, right? Say you're going out, you just got fired from your job, you just quit your job and you're looking for a new job, right? Don't ask them, what am I going to be doing at this job? I mean, that might be a good question, but the question that I would ask before that is, who am I becoming and what am I becoming? So you apply at Kroger, Baker's, whatever is in your area respectively, right? And I want you to check people out. Okay, so what am I doing? I'm cashing people out as a cashier, right? So who am I becoming? I'm becoming an average cashier. What will I be doing? Bagging groceries, etc., getting people skills. So you need to ask yourself, who and what am I becoming? And notice how I said who, because you are who you hang around, and if you can find a good group of solid people, then you'll become an average of them, right? So who am I becoming? If you have an idol, right, Elon Musk, then ask him what he did to get to those successes, and you evaluate to see, okay, am I on track? Am I not on track? Specifically who, because it gives you a target. It gives you somebody that can say, yes, I'm becoming more like this person, or no, I'm not, because you now have a measure in which to measure. Happiness isn't what you get, it's what you become. Happiness isn't what you get, it's what you become. There's a famous saying that, money doesn't buy happiness. And I can tell you for a fact it does not. All money does is it gives you opportunities and options, okay? Opportunity and options. I promise you, you will be miserable in a Ferrari, and you could be miserable in a Toyota, right? There's no difference. There might be some wow factor and you might enjoy it, but eventually it's all gonna fade, and it's gonna, you know what I mean? It's just not gonna be what it once was. And here's an example. You buy a brand new house, right? Brand new. You pick everything out that you specifically like. You like this kitchen, you like this floor, you like, X, Y, and Z, right? You love these things. Then 20 years go by. Is it the exact same awe factor as the first day you got it? Well, the answer is no. Or 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be no, right? So, it's not in what you get, it's who you become, because I say they can't, but nobody can take that away from you, right? That's why people go to school and get an education and stuff, because it's something that cannot be taken away. It is yours, right? They can take your house, they can take your car, somebody could rob it, steal it, break it, IRS can repossess it, they can take these things, but they can't take, your knowledge and your self-development. So your education, your self-education, all of those kind of things. So the first step of getting to be, how to change the best version of you is you need to set goals, right? You need to set SMART goals, and we'll talk about that later down in the episodes. But you need to set goals, specifically ones that you can measure, that are not necessarily easily obtained, but easily to measure, so if you're going the right way, the wrong way, in a quick glance, as opposed to a sit down and you have to do over 1,000 different things to see if you're even on the right track, right? So goals. And if you don't have any goals, no goals in your life whatsoever, I bet you I can guess your bank balance within $100. Right? And think about how profound that is. If I can make the claim that if I know that you don't have any goals, or you tell me your goals, I can then measure your bank balance. What does that say about those goals? It says that those goals have a direct impact and reflection on your bank balance. For example, Elon Musk. Most people know him, that's why we're using this analogy. He had a goal to set up PayPal. He had a goal to set up Tesla. He had a goal for SpaceX. All these things, he has had goals. And therefore, if you look at his income and his money, it continue to go up, right? Because he's had things that he's working towards, working for, and, working against also, right? So, he has goals. But what happens if you don't have any goals? You don't know what you want to do in life. Well, then 9 times out of 10, if you don't know what you're going to do with your life, nobody else knows what you're going to do with your life. And you're probably just going to settle for a mediocre paycheck, right? Because you don't know what you want to do. So what else would you do? What else should you do, right? I have an analogy for you before we continue. Imagine 2 scenarios. The first scenario, there's a nice big yacht, okay? And you've got a little GPS there that tells you where you need to go, for the water, because you clearly can't go on land, right? So you have this GPS, and you plug in where you want to go, and you drive the boat there. No problems, right? Now the second, you still have the same yacht, but you now don't have a map, you don't have a GPS, you don't have a cell phone, you have nothing to tell you in which direction to go. Do you see how that's a problem? Because at least with the second scenario, you can steer where you want, yes, but now you get to choose where you want to go. You can go left, forward, back, right, whatever direction you want to go, but you don't know where you're going, so you're just going to go aimlessly. Now imagine the same boat, but no steering wheel, right? It has just a wind sail, and you just go wherever the wind goes. Do you think that you will make a better decision on where to go than where, the wind would take you? Yeah. Do you think you'd even get out of the harbor if you just let the wind take you wherever? Well, no. Of course you wouldn't, because it's just going to push you against the banks, and you're not going to go anywhere, right? Like, we all, in 10 years from now, are going to end up somewhere. Whether it's dead, alive, millionaires, broke, kids, no kids, whatever the case, we're going to end up somewhere. And I promise you, you're going to want to be able to choose where you're going to end up than the alternative of you just kind of end up wherever, because your chosen option is going to be better than just being. So what does that mean? It means that setting goals can greatly increase your bank balance, right? Just setting goals and aspiring to do those goals, which is great, right? Which means that it can be easily changed, and things that are easily changed are very rare. And if they, do pop up and present themselves, I highly suggest you take them. The next point that I have is a point that affects everybody, and everybody differently, but is a huge, huge disease in what we're trying to accomplish, right? We want to be better versions of ourselves. So what's one of the major things that can actually affect that? Diseases of the attitude, right? So attitude diseases are a major key to a better future, and the better future starts with you, right? So the diseases of the attitude can either hurt you or help you. And here's what I mean by that. If you have a negative attitude in life, like everything is horrible, the earth's going to blow up tomorrow, the way that you're going to live your life with that scenario versus the opposite of it's a great day to be alive and I'm so blessed and privileged to even be alive, are two completely different scenarios, and both have two completely different outcomes. So if you could choose the better outcome of the two, would you? Should you? And could you, right? So that's definitely something that to be considerate of, right? Whether it's that you're having a bad day, stuff's going wrong. Do you choose to make the decision to say, hey, I know stuff's going on, wrong in my life. There's things that I just can't handle. Maybe I should pray about them, talk to somebody about them, figure it out, right? Do whatever helps you in that situation. But you have to make the decision to not let those attitude diseases affect you. I have a riddle for you, and it's not really a riddle. It's more like a true story. But why can two people from entirely different companies, entirely same backgrounds, same company, same, they went to the same school, they went to the same job, they have the same friend group, right? How can two completely different people, everything is the same though, one make more money and one make less money than the other, right? So we have two people, two salesmen, they both sell vacuums. They both went to sales school for this vacuums. They were top of the class. They got A's. They were great. They worked hard. These two, how can both of them, same everything, but make completely different money? One makes $100,000 and one makes $50,000. What's the difference? I'll let you brainstorm on that for a second. What's the difference? And I'm not talking about, the difference of $50,000 to $100,000, right? Anybody can do that math. What is the difference between those two scenarios? Well, let's reason it out together, okay? So what is the difference? Well, obviously we know mathematically 50,000 would be the difference, but that's not what we're asking. Okay, so, maybe one has more time. Does one work more than the other? Well, no. We said everything was the same. So one doesn't have more time than the other. And can you even have more time? There's only 24 hours in a day. Nobody gets more time. Nobody gets less time. Everybody gets the same amount of time. There's no such thing as less or more time. Plus, if you go to, a psych ward and say, hey, I need more time. Could you give me more time? Well, they're gonna look at you funny, right? Like, there's only 24 hours in a day. I can't give you more than 24. They'd take you away. They'd put you in a psych ward. But what is the difference? The answer is value. Value. That's the magic word for today. Value, value, value. Right? Because you can't get more time, but you can get more value. You can become more valuable. Right? You can become more valuable. So if you want a promotion at your job, that's simple. all you have to do is become more valuable. Say you really want that new car. That's great. All you have to do is become more valuable, and you make more money because you get paid off of your value. The reason that guy gets paid double the amount of value is because he gets paid double the amount because he has twice the amount of value, right? He's twice as valuable to the company. I bet you right now, if the guy that got paid $50,000, still a respectable sum of money, said, "Hey, I'm gonna quit," they'd be like, "Okay, bye." But I promise you that the guy that got paid $100,000 said, "I'm gonna quit." You know what they're gonna say? "What can we do to keep you here?" We see that you're twice as successful as these other people. What we do to, what we have to do to keep you here. And think about it. If he's being twice as successful, that means he's doing the job of 2 people, right? So, and the cost of hiring and everything like that, it gets expensive. So he becomes more valuable and gets paid more because he's worth more value, right? So what does that mean? That's magical. That means all that you have to do to get paid more, to be better, to be the better version of yourself, is just to become more valuable. That's it. That's as simple as it is. I have much more, guys, but I'm at my time limit for today. Make sure that you guys check out the gaming stream as well as the next episode. In about a week, we're also doing the investing of the $10,000, and if that gets good positive feedback, we'll do another $10,000. So stay tuned. Thank you, and have a great